Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Josh Lloyd. It's a pre-game show. There are 12 games on. We're getting news coming in now. Chris Middleton is playing. Pat Connaughton is playing. The Cavs lineup is out. It's the same one as usual. Andrew Nembhard is out, but Bruce Brown is back. So we don't have to worry about what they're going to do with the lineup. Brown, I imagine, will just slide straight in there for Nembhard, who'd been starting. So we got that news come through. What else have we got come in here? Otto Porter is out, for those of you who are big Otto Porter guys. What else is happening? So Chris Middleton is going to be out tomorrow. We're almost sure of that now, aren't we? The Brown one would have been more interesting. Wizards lineup just got submitted. Jones, Poole, Avdia, Kuzma, and Gafford. Usual situation there. We're going to do dribble game today. We're going to go through lineups as per usual. Go through all that. Why is that not coming up on my screen? Why has the chat box disappeared? Anyway, we're here. I'll bring this lineup screen. Oh, there it is. The chat box is back. We're ready to go. All right. Hello, everybody. Does Bruce Brown's return impact McConnell, or should we still get 15 to 20? Well, the fact that Nembhard is out means that we're still good to go with McConnell at 15 to 20 minutes because he's their backup point guard. There is no backup point guard apart from McConnell, so he's going to get 14 at least, I would guess. Seems some talk on Magritte and Artists in here. I'm more of a Matisse guy. Or Georges Seurat. Big Seurat guy. I love the pointillism. For those who are big into, 18th century French artists. Which I apparently am. Hello, everybody. How are you? Is Duarte starting again? I would expect so. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. They said they're going to keep that starting lineup going for a while. So that's where we're at. We might as well flick over and do some dribble game straight up here. That's yesterday's results. So what's today's one? All right. Who have we got? LaMarcus Aldridge to Joel Embiid. Marcus Morris did sign with the Spurs, but then he reneged. So that's not him. Spurs, Nets. Who's a Nets guy that plays with the Sixers? Batum? Oh, it's Batum. Hang on. That's easy. Come on. That wasn't even hard. What are we doing here? That was piss easy. All right. So we've got the lineup for the first game done in the books. We're waiting on the Bucks and the Pacers, but there shouldn't be any confusion with them. The Thunder should be the same as usual. The Hawks should be the same as usual. I expect the Nets will be the same. I expect the Rockets will be the same. Zion's playing the back-to-back, it appears. So that'll be the same. The Wolves will be the same. I expect the Raptors to be the same. The Grizzlies to be the same. The Blazers is where there's all sorts of confusion. We've got Reith questionable, Ayton out, Kamara questionable, Simons questionable. Does Scoot start? Does Brogdon start? Does Sharp start? Does Thibault start? I've got no idea. The Mavericks are without Exum, so we've currently got Hardy in there. I'm not certain that it's Hardy. I think Grant Williams will actually start there. I might go make that switch. I don't like that lineup call there. I don't think that Jaden Hardy's getting 26 minutes with Exum out, although Hardy did start the second half last game with Exum out. I'm not sure that's the direction they go. I think they might push it to Grant Williams. I'm just going to hedge on that a little bit and take 2 minutes off him and put 2 minutes onto Grant. That's an unknown. That's an unknown, that lineup. Kobe White looks like he'll play. Pat Williams still questionable. If Williams is out, I don't know what they do. Do they start the Red Rooster? Do they start Julian Phillips or Dalen Terry? Or do they start... Oh, no, they'll probably start DeSumo and push DeRozan to the 4. The Knicks lineup will be the same. The Clippers will be the same. The Suns will be the same with Metu starting for Durant, I'm pretty sure. The Pistons, I think, will be the same with Knox in. The Jazz, who knows? They've actually run that lineup 2 games in a row, so they might do it again. The Heat, I expect Jamal Cain, Jaquez Hero, Lowry, Bam to start. The Lakers, LeBron, of course, he's questionable as always. I have projected Reddish to start instead of Reeves, but who knows? The Magic should be the same, I'm guessing, with Goga starting. And the Kings, we're guessing that Duarte is the starter there. So there you go. Kadeem, you asked the question about is Duarte starting? We don't know. Let's see what other statuses we are waiting on at the moment. Bucks lineup is confirmed. Lillard, Beasley, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, Lopez. Pacers lineup is just Brown in for Nembhard. So that is confirmed as well. Halliburton, Brown, Nesmith, Smith, and Turner. Jalen Smith, do something. Something. But that is confirmed. So we're waiting on Dennis Smith, who's questionable with a back issue. Trey Murphy still questionable. Moses Brown, Tamani Kamara, Dwop Reith, and Anthony Simons are all questionable. Pat Williams is questionable. Kobe White is probable. LeBron is questionable. Josh Richardson is questionable. Anthony Davis and Cam Reddish are probable. And Caleb Martin is doubtful. That is what we're waiting on. So that's good to know, of course, that that's what we're doing. If you haven't, thumbs it up. Go for it. All right, what's this question here? Will Alcaraz win the Australian Open? I don't know, mate. Maybe. I actually don't know enough about tennis to know that. Reddish was out 2 hours ago. Let me double check on that. I don't think he's out. Trey Murphy's out, though. That just got announced. Pretty sure Reddish isn't out. Let me double check on the injury report. Our injury report has improbable. I don't know where you saw Reddish was out. Reddish was out last game. But maybe I've just missed it. Let's have a look. Lakers injury report. Cam Reddish probable. D'Angelo Russell is out. Gabe Vincent is out. Reddish is probable. There you go. Cleared that up for you, Timmy. Who's a better power forward than John Collins? Almost literally anybody, Ian. That's literally, though, an impossible question to answer. Amen Thompson or Tate with Eason out? I don't think Tate being out has really any impact on Amen Thompson at all. Jayshawn Tate is starting already over him. Reggie Bullock maybe gets some minutes, or Cam Whitmore. I don't think that Thompson gets those minutes. We don't know. If the lineup is confirmed 1 week, it'll be listed on that screen in yellow. Do I play golf? Not really, no. I mean, I can sort of play. But no, I don't. I don't actually have enough time. Why aren't anyone taking the Clippers seriously? I think it's because for the last 5-6 years, people have always had the Clippers as like Western Conference favorites, and they've done nothing. I agree. They're playing really well, and they should be in the mix. But they are currently, I had a look this morning, they've got better odds, shorter odds to win the title than both the Wolves and the Thunder, which seems a little crazy to me. That seems a little crazy to me. What's my favorite food at the moment? Tay just asks. I don't know. I don't really have something that I stick on necessarily. I try to like rotate it through. So yeah, nothing really stands out in that sort of question. What is my formal position on potato chip dip, mayo or sour cream base? What the hell are you talking about? Potato? I wouldn't dip any potato chips into dip at all, ever. Potato chips are a delicacy to just be eaten on their own. So none. Is Sharp closing in on starting over Claxton? Not even close, Eddie. Not close. Do I ever shoot hoop baskets? That's funny. Not really, no. Sometimes me and Ben will go down and shoot. There's a court sort of nearby here, but as a general rule, not really, no. I'm old, man. I'm beaten up. My back is rooted. My hip is screwed from skiing injuries. My ankles, everything is cooked. I'm old, and I've had too much heavy load of sport in my younger days, so my body's pretty cooked. And I'm fat, so there you go. Will the Hornets shut down Lamelo? Stop with this shit. Like, if Lamelo is out for the season, he will be out for the season. It's not a good question. Shutdowns are the fakest thing that people talk about, and people get their dicks in a knot about it continuously. It's just not something that you need to worry about. I'm serious. Best potato chips ever had was in New Zealand. Well, come on, it's probably better here. But yeah, you don't dip potato chips. That is a very, very weird thing to do. I don't know. Oh, Kenneth, I'm not even on wash watch, mate. I'm officially washed years ago. I tore. Okay. We keep looking here. We'll look at stuff as we go through, see if there's any more news that comes through. Went skiing in 2022 for the first time in like 15, 16 years. I was like, I haven't done this for ages. And then I thought, I can't snowboard. I thought, let's have a snowboarding lesson. So I went on the snowboard with Ben and with my partner. We're up there skiing and tried the snowboard. I can't really do it. Can't do the side on balance. Front on, no problem. I can ski. Snowboarding, went there and twisted my knee up under me like in about 5 minutes of getting on the snowboard. It still hurts now. I'm very confident that there was a tear of my ACL and tried to ski the rest of it. Couldn't put any pressure. You know, when you're skiing and you got to lean in to try and turn. Couldn't do it at all. So couldn't ski for the rest of the day. I've been wearing like a knee brace on and off for the last 2 years. I'm just too lazy to go get it checked out. But I fell off on a snowboard on a flat surface trying to practice balance. And I think that there's like at least a grade 1 or grade 2 strain of my ACL that I've never actually let heal properly. And it still hurts now. So there you go. Watch. Top 5 sneakers of 2024. I don't know. I haven't seen huge amounts of the release schedule coming up. We actually are just getting the reverse Grinches dropping like today or tomorrow. So we'll see where that goes. Maybe that's it. Kobe wife, Keegan Murray, Eco Beast. When you're ever asking this question, my assumption's always going to be you're in a 12-team, 9-category league, because that is what the bulk majority of people play. And if you're in a 12-team, 9-category league situation, you're trading Kobe White, who's a point guard, for Keegan Murray, who's an inconsistent power forward. I would almost definitely take White in that scenario, but they're just very different players who play very different positions. Aditya, yeah, look, why wouldn't you be holding Jackson Davis, Pajemski, and Eason? I don't know why you wouldn't be. You really need to change this 15-category league. It's a ridiculous amount of categories. The categories are terrible, and while I've heard you explain them before, I don't devote any brain power to remembering what they are, all the valuations of players in them. This is why it'd be a great idea if you're a member of Basketball Monster, because you can just tailor everything to your league and you can see how the valuations change. But off the top of my head, absolutely no idea. Do I see Jackson Davis getting 30 minutes eventually? I don't actually know. Unless they take Kevon Looney out of the rotation completely, and then we don't know what's going on with Draymond Green, I don't see 30 minutes coming. There's been no updates on Draymond apart from the cryptic Steve Kerr comments yesterday. Should you put Ben Simmons on an IR 10-team points? Sure, if it costs you nothing, there's no harm in doing that. How are the research assistant applications coming along? Well, they're there. There's like 100 of them. I've started to look through some of them. It is going to take me a little bit of time to go through it, though, because obviously the NBA is not taking a break, so my time is pretty low at the moment, but I will get into that. Hopefully I'm able to get it done this week. Kevin, that's disgusting. Potato chips in the dip doesn't make sense. What you put into dip, right, is non-potato, other types of biscuits, Ritz, Jats, those little water crackers. That's what goes. Potato chips aren't even thick enough. Like you put them in, they break straight away. Potato chips are fragile beings that need to be delicately devoured. You can't put them in, they'll snap in half. What the hell are your potato chips doing then? Unless you're talking and also, here, controversial. I don't think you should be dipping anything that is flavored at all into a dip. The chip or the biscuit that goes into the dip needs to be a carrier. Like if I'm putting corn chips into salsa and dipping them that way, they can't be like nacho cheese flavor. It's got to be plain, straight down the line, bang. If I'm dipping any sort of cracker or whatever it is in there, I don't need it like, well, here's beetroot and sage flavor. I just want it plain. The dip does the flavoring. The cracker does the carrying. I'm very passionate about that. Where's my missus gone? She's gone to Malaysia. Best rebound streamer for today. I don't know who's available in your league. It's probably it's probably Jackson Davis if he's available, but that's for tomorrow. How do you have options for today with 12 teams on? Let me have a look at my projections actually for today. We can have a look. There's another question somewhere about the waiver wire show that I am going to get to in a second because I think it's important. Let's have a look. Who's available widely in 14 teamers or Dayron Sharp? Dayron Sharp's the very clear rebound streamer today. Ujman says, big fan of your waiver wire shows. I would love to see you order waiver wire pickers by order of importance. You know why that is almost impossible, right? The part of this is that I don't even know how I'm trying to say this. Is when I do these shows, when I work on all of this stuff, a lot of it is to try and help teach, entertain, and provide information. I am not spoon-feeding stuff. It's impossible to do. It's literally impossible. All right, when I do daily streamers on the daily streaming show, when I get to the end and 10-team, 12-team points league, that is listed in who I think has the more value. But if you're in a category league, you can chuck that shit out of the window because a point guard might not make any sense for how your matchup looks. It might make more sense to get a center or a rebounder or whatever. It doesn't make that ton of sense. And putting priorities on these waiver wire ads that's sort of what I do at the end of the daily recap with the checks and the crosses and whatever, the ticks and crosses that come up at the end. But it's really hard to provide, because then I might say, well, here's your top 4 guys, and then someone else comes in and will go, actually, 3 of those guys are rostered, so who's your next player? It gets too much and too much. Right? So I can talk about a million different things, but I can't also just tell you everything, every single step at every point and what to do in what order. It's impossible because I am not in your league, I'm not in your roster, I'm not in anything. So I might have the same guy available in 2 different leagues of mine, and in one of my leagues I like to add him, and the other one I don't, because it really depends on so many different things. And having that idea versus like, here is a blanket statement, do this now, it's much more important, I think. So there you go. How do I approach punting when most of your cats are equal in Z-score? Anabolic outposts, I'd have a look at this way. If they're mostly equal, what I would tend to do is I would try and concentrate my resources into the least variable categories. Also, I'd also look at the rest of the league to see where I've got my advantages. So if I'm going to talk about least variable, like I'd be trying to move away from blocks and steals as much more than I am into the points, rebounds, assists, threes, and percentages a little bit more, especially field goal percentage. That's less variable than free throws. But I also look to see how the rest of my league looks, especially the guys at the top of the standings. Are all the guys at the top of the standings like really bad in field goal percentage? Like, what can I do to strengthen my team to beat those good teams? But as a general rule, if my team is strong across the board, if you keep yourself stronger in the least variable categories, it's helpful for winning, I believe. There you go. I think that's correct. Since I think Grant will get hurt, should I try? I don't think Grant will get hurt. I think Grant will get shut down with a fake injury in the last 2 weeks of the season. And they'll claim it's knee soreness. That's what a shutdown is for the Lamelo guy earlier. When you get to the final 2 weeks of the season and the teams at the bottom of the standings sit guys down. They don't just say from Christmas onwards, well, you're done for the year with a fake injury. That's just not what happens. I don't think Grant's going to get hurt because I, like you, can't predict injuries. You can't do it. It's impossible to do. But what I can do is to say that the Blazers are going to say that Jeremy Grant's out with knee soreness and sit him down. That is likely what they will do. So should you trade him now? I think it's always worth looking into. But also, when does your league finish? Does your league finish on March 24th, or are you in a badly set up league? Because if you finish March 24th, then these problems just don't really exist. I hope, again, that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Again, it's not about me predicting someone gets hurt, but, it's more about the fake injury designation with 2 weeks to go. Skiing is kind of dangerous. It is. My only surgery that I've ever had was due to skiing, where I wrecked my hip, fell on it, and had to have surgery on my hip, which still hurts now. Then that was the last time that I skied, and then the next time I went back and skied, did the knee thing. And then we went back last year and skied, and I was fine, even though my knee hurt, but I was able to ski, didn't fall once, and spent tons of time out there, and I loved it. But yeah, it is dangerous. Is Caruso more rosterable than Pat Williams? I believe so, yes. Do I think Kobe White has to be a sell high with Levine returning? Paprick Vanessa, you didn't see the buy low sell high show yesterday because Kobe White is out to the top 200 over the last 2 weeks. There is absolutely zero chance you can sell high on him. You should have done it 3 weeks ago when he was rolling as a top 25 player. Levine is going to have an impact on him, but you're just not going to be able to do anything with him at the moment. It's going to be impossible. His cats can't be worse than ridiculous default. Oh, I'm pretty sure they are. I think he's got like double-doubles, field goals made, free throws made, triple-doubles. They're terrible categories, so they are worse. Locked on Fantasy Basketball Bowl playoff starting next week? No. They're not starting next week. Where did you get the idea they're starting next week? They start after the All-Star break. What are you talking about? Can you send me an email? Well, there's no league playoffs that start next week. I think you mean the FBI Locked on Fantasy Basketball World Cup. And those playoffs start next week. And yes, those matchups, I believe, are within division. There are rumors of... Don't worry about rumors. Do not worry about this. Siakam going to the Nets. Claxton and Cam Thomas to the Raptors. Source on X, apparently The Athletic. Okay, don't worry about it. Unless Shams is tweeting about it. Unless Woj is tweeting about it. Stein or Haynes to a degree. I don't care. I don't know where this rumor that you see comes from again, these rumors just, if you make fantasy moves based on those sort of rumors, you will have a very bad time. What are my thoughts on my mate Ben Simmons? Welcome to the show for the first time ever. Mentioned a million times, told people on like November the 10th just to drop him. And literally nothing's changed 2 months into that. There is no word on Lamelo Ball because trust me, Camden Barnes, if I knew anything about Lamelo Ball, it would be plastered all over this show. There is absolutely nothing. The Hornets are a shitful organization who tell us absolutely zero regarding their injuries. The Lamelo update was supposed to come about 4 weeks ago. We hear nothing. It's been like 6 weeks for an injury that wasn't considered to be that long, so I don't know. They lie all the time, and I don't think I'm going to get anything out of them at any point at this stage. Is Draymond worth a stash? Yeah, the Kerr stuff is not great. If holding on to Draymond means that you are sacrificing an active roster spot, then no. It's not worth it. This is what my problem is with the Hornets' prophetic days. You said your 42-year-old back is better than Mark Williams. Well, you don't know that because you don't know what Mark Williams' injury is. Because none of us do, because the Hornets continue to list him doubtful. So that makes you go, well, if he's doubtful, he mustn't be a bad injury. Therefore, he's a soft cock and he's weak, and why isn't he playing? Look at me, I'd be much better. He might have like dislocated spinal bones. He might have nerve impingement through his back. He might have torn muscles surrounding his spine. We have no idea. None. Because this is what my problem is with Charlotte. It's not about, you're only complaining because of your fantasy team. No, because this puts this huge issue across the players where anonymous people, no apologies to you, Prophetic Days, but Prophetic Days can pop off and call Mark Williams soft because he's been doubtful for 12 games in a row. His back mustn't be anything serious, that he's just weak as piss. That's just not how any of that shit works. And that's why I hate what the Hornets are doing. That's why I'll continue to go after him when they put this shit out. So, is your back better than Mark Williams's? Probably not. Almost definitely not. But we don't know because we don't know what Mark Williams' injury is. I have not heard about Mobley's surgery, but if it wasn't successful, I reckon we would have heard something. So I'll just lean on the side of it probably was fine. Outside of Wemby, who in this draft class do I see having the highest fantasy upside? Heading into this season, the highest projected fantasy upside players were Amen Thompson, Asar Thompson, and Scoot Henderson. And there's nothing really at this point for me to change my opinion completely off of that. Rashawn Holmes out today for personal reasons, by the way. Dante Exum also out. Malachi Flynn also out. That's these guys who don't play anyway. So Amen was the guy, and Asar and Scoot. I know Scoot's had a rocky start, but I think he's going to be much better. And after that, it was like Hendricks, Walker, which we haven't really seen play at all, Miller, and then probably George was a little bit lower. Pajemski was up high too. But it's Amen. Amen's the guy. This is correct, Timmy. The Raptors do not have any need for Claxton, who's also an unrestricted free agent. I don't think KCP is a hold, no. But I would hold him for tomorrow because no one else plays. But I've been pretty clear on KCP for a long time. Almost definitely Rozier's assists will go down when Lamelo Ball is back. I don't understand it either. I don't understand what they're doing, Paprika, with the injury reporting. They're the only team that does this. The Magic stuff is annoying with the Markel Fultz questionable stuff and the lack of information they provide. But this Hornets doubtful stuff is something they did all of last season as well, and it just makes no sense. $100 bet on who finishes higher in category leagues, Keontae, Scoot, or Quickly. From this point forward or for whole season? For the whole season, it's almost without question Quickly. No doubt at all. And I would say even if you said from this point forward, it would be Quickly. I don't know the full structure of the World Cup off the top of my head. I believe it is the winner of each division advances. Yes, that's my understanding. Yes, I believe Suggs is must roster. The injury to Eason is the same injury that caused him to not play at the beginning of the year, the stress reaction fracture in his leg, and there's still soreness from it. So maybe it's that is a worry for sure, because he's basically getting listed with soreness every single game. That's what it is. Do I have Cooper on the same level as Wemby? No, his hype won't be as big as Wemby. He's one of the best prospects that we've seen, but not quite as big as Wemby, no. I was concerned with Lucas Quad. Would it be enough to trade him for yes, 100%. Plus, 2-game week in the playoffs. Tied in with the injury and a 2-game week in the playoffs. If I can get an equivalent player back, a Shea, Jokic, one of those guys, I would do that without any question whatsoever. Does Simons play? Look, I can just guess as much as you want. Like, I'd be pulling it straight out of my ass. I'll say yes, but I don't know. If I knew, I would be able to give you more information, but I just don't. I have no idea, and it's a complete guess, and my guess is probably the same as you. How do I feel about Alex Sarr as an upcoming prospect? I think that at the moment, I'd probably have him at number 1, but I haven't done much work on the draft. There's just so many weird 6'9", 6'10" forwards, not including him, who are sort of high usage, lowish efficiency, bad defensive players, which isn't great. So that's why this draft class is really quite weird. I do like Sarr, though. I think I think his brother's an interesting player. I think Sarr has probably some of the best fantasy upside as well. Reed Shepherd's in that mix too. There's a bunch of different guys. Yeah, killing it in the NBL as 18-year-old is a huge positive. That's a huge positive. It's massive. I at this point, again, haven't done much, but I would be looking... At the moment, I would have him number 1. What happened to the sound drops? You are super late to the party, my guy, because we haven't had them since September, October. Copyright. And I haven't talked about it for the last couple of weeks, but that's probably the 50th time we've done it, so that's probably the last time I'll do it again. What's the strategy when it comes to playoffs? Do I try to trade for players on better teams? Not really, Spencer. You just want players playing more games. That's a usual strategy. Get more games in. Is Cody Williams better than Jalen? I don't think so, but I haven't done enough work on Cody. Actually, I haven't done anything at all, apart from I know that he exists. Did I watch Clay's postgame? No, but I have been hearing about it. I haven't gone and seen it yet. I have to go look at it. What teams will start mailing it in young guys in the next month or two? This stuff usually doesn't happen until after the deadline, after the All-Star break, maybe in March. And it's just going to be the teams at the bottom. It's going to be Washington. It's going to be Portland. Charlotte doesn't really have any of those extra guys, but it'll probably be them too. It'll be the Spurs, but they're already running young guys out there at the moment. We're getting ready to get out of here, by the way. Is there any potential Fultz plays full-time minutes? There's always going to be a potential of that. But I would say it's relatively unlikely. Will Cade finish higher than Kyrie and Ja in 9-cat? I would say Ja, yes. Kyrie, no. No other information. Be good if the Mavs gave us an update on Maxi Kleber. That would be good. What does the blue symbol mean? The blue symbol is a Q for questionable. Is Smart must roster in a points league? Zach, have a look. What's he averaging? How much better is it than the players on the waiver wire? If it's like 2 points difference, then no. If it's 5 points difference, then yes. When I do voices, do I have any real person in mind? I always thought you sound like Jim Rome. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know who Jim Rome is. I've heard the name, but I've never seen anything involving Jim Rome. Do I have a person in mind? Not really. Not really. It's just sort of characters that I would create in my head that might talk like this or, start whinging and do... It's just shit that I make up. Like, that's what happens when you talk to yourself on a show like this for 5 hours a day. All right. Last question, Ricardo. Is Jaquez the biggest rookie surprise? It's not Jaquez Jr., it's Jaquez. Is Jaquez the biggest rookie surprise? Like, yes, I would say so. He's been way better than I expected him to be. I still don't think that he has been, or that he should be getting anywhere near sniffing the top 10 in a redraft or anything like that, but he's been way better than I anticipated him to be. And that, legends, is the end of the show. Double bang it, hit the thumbs up on the way out, and I'll see you later. Have a good day, guys. Bye.